Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to access that machine once again. Okay, so any questions so far?
One question I do have.
Yeah, please.
Day three, I just watched the YouTube video. So in that, I know we had discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, can we go deep inside that? Actually, I was watching that. I just do not get a clear idea on that.
Okay. So anyone who knows anything about inode?
Normal nomenclature, physical location, like file in that particular server. That exact location it will be shown up there. The specific file. I know. So every file has some numbers or like serial number. Physical location.
So basically, inode is known as index node. And what does that mean? Inode is a data structure in a Unix system, file system, that describes a file system object such as file or directory. Each inode stores the attribute and disk block location of the object data. Like if you want to know where the file is actually located, then we need to check about the inode of that particular file. Now, if you want to know more details about it, so let us say if you have thousands of files, so every individual file or directory is going to contain one inode. Moreover, every individual file and directory, like, okay, let me log into that particular machine first, and we can discuss it more in detail. So this I4 means index node, inode. So every individual directory file has an inode allocated to it. But if you see, there is a different value allocated to this .ssh directory, because these are two different type of inodes which are allocated to this particular file system. And what we need to remember here is, let us say if I create a directory here. So one inode is allocated here as well, right?
Yes.
So what we need to consider here, that every individual directory has a special inode, and that inode has capability to store the information about its metadata, like how many files and directories are stored inside it. Whenever we try to create a new file or folder, so at that moment, inode ensures that whether the particular available space is available on the disk or not. For example, if I run a command here, we are going to discuss these commands within upcoming lectures. Let us say we are going to create a particular file here. The size of that file is 10 GB. So inode ensures, or this particular folder ensures, that it is going to display a message that free space is not available on this particular disk. For example, I'm going to run a command. I'm going to create a file of 8 GB. Let us say I'm going to create a file here as disk space. So what does it say?
No space.
No space left on device. Now my question here is, how does this particular system or this particular operating gets to know that the particular file size which I'm going to create and the available file system is not appropriate. Like my operating system does not have that much amount of disk space available on the system which is required to create this file. So this particular comes with the help of metadata of that particular directory where I'm going to create this particular file. Okay, let's not do here. Let's go to some other directory. Let us try to run the same command here. So once again, whatever folder we are going to create this particular file in, this will definitely display a message that the particular available size and the required size are not meeting up, are not matching up. For example, if I define a 7 GB, then will it allow me to create?
Yes.
Because it is available. Now, if you see here, earlier what amount of disk was used? 16%, and now it is 93%. Why it is so? Because one file of 7 GB is created here. Fallocate is the command which we can utilize in order to create some data file, and if you try to read this file, nothing is going to come out of it because it is a data file. We do not have any kind of like text inside it. If I run a command file, what does it say? Disk space. It is a data file. Clear?
Yeah.
So how does this system gets to know about the information of it? With the help of inode. Okay. So for example, there is one interview question usually which I personally prefer to ask, that whenever I run a command ls-li or la, lrth, whatever options with ll or ls you are going to utilize, so I usually get to know about the owner information of this file, about group information of this file, about the file permissions defined on this particular file. So where these file permission, owner information, let us say how many links are created to this particular file, where this information is stored.
In inode number.
Yes, very true. So every individual information related to a file are always stored in a inode number. But one more question is
without file name.
But not the file name. Yes, I was coming to that particular point only. An inode contains everything about a file, about file permission, owner, links created, where are the links created, everything it contains, but it does not contain the file name. Because file name is the particular, you can say a link between inode and human readable format. So whenever we need to access a file, we always try to access to that particular file name, but not directly to that particular inode. Okay, let us say if I run a command rm-rf disk space. So guys, what do you think? Has that data gone away? If I try to recover this inode, will I be able to or not? Will I be able to recover that data which was available here in this particular file?
No, sir.
So yes, ideally it is no, but if you have detailed knowledge of this particular file system and how to recover it, then you shall be able to recover the particular data from a particular disk, although the file has been deleted. But if you see, inode is still up there. Now once again, if I try to and when we can recover that? Until and unless some other file, let us say if I try to create a file, until and unless I have utilized that particular file system once again, the amount of disk space was allocated to this particular file, until I have utilized that particular disk space for some other file creation, till that time we shall be able to recover the particular file. Once the particular data is overwritten, then we shall not be able to recover that. Are we clear with that?
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
for example, we have a two user. First one is Ayush, second one is Teja. So, sir, if I deleted Ayush deleted like this space file, but Teja don't know कि this space file deleted or not. So, sir, Teja, how to find कि this file is deleted or not?
So in that particular case, the user will go to the same directory because see, like in that particular case, both users, Teja and let us say Ayush, have write access to that particular directory, have execute access to that particular directory. Only then user will go here, and then user will be able to delete the particular files. Second thing, if let us say if any of the user is going to run this particular command, then the user is going to see whether the particular directory of files which are required are available here or not. So we can check the availability of a file with the help of ll command.
The question was like, if one user is removing the file, so how got to know means other user how is able to understand or is able to
Yes.
Yeah, is how the other person can get to know that the file or the directory has been removed.
So in that particular, that's what I said. Like user need to come to that operating system, need to change the directory to that location, run ll command, and see the availability whether file is existing or not.
No, sir. For example, we have a lots of file like a 1000, 2000.
Okay.
So that time, like I don't know which file I use deleted, but Teja wants to know which file we have or we don't have. So how to know?
So in order to check the availability, you need to run the command. And in order to know that who has deleted what, there is a particular log like file known as history file. Each user's history file we can get to know that whether, okay, let us say if I removed a file, so I removed all the file which were beginning with system-private, right? So my history will always inform that whatever command I have executed. Moreover, if I'm going to remove my history, right, so only history command will come. So even this command can also get stored into your history file that you have removed some history, and that too on temporary basis. Moreover, if you want to restore your history, hist-r, so this will restore your history.
Okay.
So from a user history, you can easily get to know. Moreover, when we talk about any corporate environment, like any production environment, when we talk about, so over there we do not directly log into server. There are kind of PIM tool. What those tools are doing, so whenever you log into that particular operating system, so each and every command, whatever you are going to execute, these gets recorded into that particular software as well. Moreover, there are tools which are available, and with the help of those tools, you can do a video recording of the particular commands which you are executing on the operating system. Because production systems are really critical. We cannot let any user to run the command whatever they want. Moreover, those tools facilitate, like those tools are going to facilitate, like provide the facility that you can restrict any individual command. For example, there is a command known as user add. Over here, I want to add a user, let us say demo user. I'm allowed to do so. The information of that user can be seen in etc passwd file, right? The user is created here. But if you talk about production environment, in real world environment, over there, these commands like user add, rm-rf space asterisk, these are restricted command. No one can execute the command even. Even if you are a root user, those commands are restricted at that particular prompt level itself. You will not be allowed to execute such commands. So those are additional control put in place. Okay, let us get back.
Sorry?
Yeah, please go ahead.
The medical comments and like dot SSH.
Your voice is not audible. I'm so sorry to say.
Sorry, you told me that we can restrict some commands, sir. Hello.
Which commands we are talking about?
I mean, you told me that in production environment we can restrict some commands like RM, RF, like that commands, where we can restrict that commands the .ssh file.
Not .ssh file. So when you want to restrict the command, so there are additional softwares available. These are paid
Okay.
softwares. You can use those particular software to restrict any individual command.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, we were talking about file permissions.
Sir, recording.
So recording is in place. Not live streaming it, but yes, I'll update it to YouTube later on. So yes, guys, we were talking about file permission, and once again we are going to do the same. So what are the type of files we have? Let us recall that once.
Regular file,
Okay.
pipe file, directory,
Special files.
Okay. Directory then.
link file,
Then
pipe file, block device file, character device, and socket.
very good. Good to know. One more thing I want to know. We discussed about the kind of file permissions. What are the file permissions do we have?
Read, write, execute.
And what was the numeric value defined for read?
4,
4.
Very good.
write,
We have write. We define in alphabetical W and in numeric value.
2. It's 2.
We have another type of permission.
Executable file.
Execute equal to X equal to 1.
1.
So why we are discussing this once again today? Because so far we have seen that we can define at max 777 permission on a file, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but if you run a command here, umask. So 4 digits are coming here. 0022. What is that?
The first one 0 is special permission related to special permissions.
Okay.
And second one like a normal and rest of is like a normal permissions.
Okay, very good. So today we are going to talk about that additional 0 which we have. So by default, if you want to allocate permission to any file, so how many permissions you can define? Like 777. This is a maximum. And how it will be written? RWX, RWX, RWX. This is how we are going to define these permissions. And we already know these first 3 sections are reserved for user of file. Like middle section is reserved for group, and last section is reserved for others. Those neither part of group of the file nor owner of the file. Okay. So today we are going to see like special file permissions. What are these permissions? So the very first permission is known as SUID. Value remains 4 and we define it with S. Okay. Next permission here is SGID. Value remains 2 and defines with S. Third permission here is sticky bit. Value remains 1 and defines with T. Okay, so where do we define these particular permissions? Let us see here. Okay, do you see this thing special here? Rather than defining it as X, it is showing T. What does this mean? So if someone is going to ask you during interview or like whenever it is required that what is sticky bit, so how would you explain that? And guys, you see, this particular folder is word writable. Anyone can come and create any sort of files inside this particular directory known as temp. For example, okay, now user Natasha has created a file known as hello, wherein user David created a file known as demo. So in this particular case, for example, if I want to remove a file known as, it will say operation not permitted. Why it is so? When the directory is world writable, anyone can come and write anything into this particular directory, and this particular T is preventing other users to perform delete operation to some other user's directory, or you can call that file as well. So what do we understand by this particular command? We need to understand this thing that whenever we are operating with this particular T permission like sticky bit, what does that mean? So either root or the owner of that file can delete the particular file from the directory where sticky bit is applied. Who can delete?
Root and owner.
Either root user can delete or the file owner or file user can delete that, like this one, this section you can focus here, right? Moreover, if we see here, okay, like this ls-l we can run. So if you see here, Natasha has created a particular file hello, so we can delete this particular file known as hello with user Natasha. But if you try to delete any other file or folder, you will not be allowed, and you will get this particular error for operation not permitted. Are we clear with that? Any questions?
Yes.
Are we all clear with this?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So the very first thing which we were trying to know here is sticky bit. So if someone is going to ask you what is sticky bit, so can we explain that now? That sticky bit is a special permission which is set on directories. Keep this thing in mind. Sticky bit can only be set onto some directory. Sticky bit is not applicable for files, although you can apply this permission there, but it is appropriate in order to apply onto directory only. And that directory should be world writable, as all the users can create their files inside that directory, and you can prevent that either root user or the owner itself can remove the files from the directory. Second thing known as SGID.
One question I have for the sticky bit.
Yeah.
Currently, the temp have that sticky bit applied over there in that
Yes.
lecture. So if you just move back to any other file, those doesn't have. So in that, any other user can delete other file.
So for
For an
example, if
example.
there is a particular situation when all users have all permissions and sticky bit is not applied, then in that
Okay.
particular case, for example, let me show you.
You are inside root tab.
So user demo has created a new file here, right?
Yeah.
User demo has defined all the permissions onto this particular file. Right now, if you see, this particular file has full permissions like read, write, execute for demo user, read, write, execute for demo group, and read, write, execute permission for others as well, like David. Are we clear so far? Still, the particular operating system does not allow this file to be deleted by some other user which is known as David. Because David is part of other users for this particular file. Why is that happening? This is happening just because sticky bit is applied on temp. O minus T, like we are going to remove that special permission from this particular directory for now, right?
From temp. Okay.
We have removed that particular permission known
Yeah.
as sticky bit.
Yes.
Now once again let us switch with user David. Once again let us try to remove that.
Yeah. Working.
What was preventing this particular operation to happen? O plus T.
We can put sticky bit permission for others only. We can put for user.
So yes, you can say like other user should not be able to perform any deletion or maybe any more, like let us say this is a file known as new file. You want to change the file name. So if you have write permission, you can perform that operation. Only with the help of write permission, you can rename the file. But if sticky bit is applied onto any directory, you will not be allowed to do so. Sticky bit is applicable only for other users. Because user and group obviously can perform whatever they want. But over here, sticky bit is applicable only for others. O plus T, others, is special permission known as sticky bit, should not be able to delete, rename the file. Are we clear with that?
Oh yes.
Okay. Now the another permission known as SGID. Now what does that mean? A special group ID. This is applicable only for folders or directories, you can call that. Now what does it do? See, I created a directory here known as test. Who is user of this file, or you can call that owner of the file?
Root.
Okay. Be interactive please, as I can understand that guys are listening to me. Okay. Who is owner?
Root.
And who is group?
Root.
Okay. Now I want to change group of this particular directory. So what command I need to use here?
CH group.
chgrp, let us define it as HR and the directory is test. Group modified. Now let us go inside this directory, and now I am going to create one more directory here. Let us say directory 1 I have created. What is the difference here? The difference here is when I created this parent directory known as test, I made some changes in order to change the group of this directory, that should be HR. But when I'm going inside this directory, I'm performing some operations. So once again, I'm seeing here owner is root, But group of this particular directory is once again root, not the HR. So what I need to ensure here is that whatever user is going to perform any activity in this particular folder, user should always remain the same. Sorry, group for the directory or file which are going to be created inside test should always remain same like HR. So how do I ensure that? Now once again we are going to say here SGID is going to be applied onto those files or directories. See the permission of this directory, guys. What are the permissions? Let us define chmod what are the permissions now?
Redirect execute.
777?
Execute redirect execute. Yes, sir. 777.
Yes. What is the group? HR. Now what is going to happen here? So guys, right now we are going to apply the SGID on this particular directory. How to apply? ch mode.
Yes, sir.
Either we can define G plus S, then test, or the same way we can define here 2. What is the number defined here for SGID?
2.
So 2 and whatever are the current permission set. Defined.
Permission.
So either of the way we can do, we can modify the file permissions either of the way, like this or like this. Whatever we feel comfortable with, we can go ahead. G plus S and this one are going to perform the same stuff for us.
That S indicates the SGID.
Yes. Either you can use like this alphabetical way or this numeric way. Whatever you want, both are going to perform the same thing for you. Are we clear with that? Okay. Now, how do we identify if anything is changed? Do you find something interesting here?
S source.
This is S. Like a special permission is applied onto this particular directory. One more thing. What is this command going to do?
Removing
Remove execute permissions of group. Removing the execute permissions of group.
Aditi, you were saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, fine, cool. This, do you find any difference between here and this particular section?
S is capital.
And why is that so? So, because we do not have any additional field here in order to identify like whether execute permission is applied onto this particular directory for group or not. So, these letters are defined in a small way as well as in capital way. So, if this S, okay, one more thing. Let us go one directory back. What I am going to do here, guys, give me a moment. Come on. सब पढ़ा रहे आदमी में कुछ तो सोचता है. Yes, guys. So, O minus X, we are going to do this. What does that mean? And before executing this command, let me show you something. This T is in caps or small?
Smaller.
Okay, for sure. And now?
Capital.
Capital. What is the major difference here? So guys, if these words are written along with the file permission set, we need to understand that if execute permission is there, then these words are defined in small letters. And if
Yeah.
only special permission is applied, but execution permission is not there, then this will be visible in small letter. Once again, like right now, if you see, others have execute permission onto this directory. So right now, if you see here, like this is T written, but this is in small letters.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the same way, let us move on to temp and test. This S is written here. So what do we understand? What are the permissions applied here? Can anyone explain?
In group, we don't have execute permissions.
Okay, Rakesh ji, can you please explain what are the permissions that applied onto this particular directory right now?
For user, we have read, write, execute, and group we just give read and write, and others we give read, write.
For
In
group,
groups-
for group, what do we have?
In group,
Read, write,
Read, write, and special permission
special permission.
without execution. Okay.
that's right.
This S is in small. Now let us move ahead and perform the stuff. For example, do you see any difference here? User David has created a file known as file1. Who is owner of the file
David,
and who is group of the what is group of the file?
HR.
Did I modify anything here? No. It is happening just because of this permission. That special group permission is applied on this directory whenever any user, maybe root, maybe demo user, maybe David, Thomas, Harry, whosoever is going to create a file or folder inside this test directory. Owner will be the same as whoever is going to create the file or directory, but group is going to remain same as HR. Let us do one more thing. mkdir dir2. Let us go in this directory. So just see the hierarchy here. So first of all, we created test where this SDID is applied. Inside that test, we created here dir2, then dir3, then dir4, and inside this directory, I created a file known as file2. User remains same. Group is also same. So now let us do one thing. What if I go inside dir2, then 3, then 4. Right now I'm logged in with what user?
Root user.
Root user. Very good. And now what I'm going to do?
Data empty file.
So right now, if you see, the users are able to create files or directories here. Users are changing for sure, but group remains same.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I run this command, what will happen?
The special permission removed from group.
Okay, very good. But this is also remaining same.
sir.
I have removed this particular permission from test.
I did not remove dir2.
But if you see that special permission is applied in recursive way to this directory as well.
Sir.
So sometime what happens when we play with file permission, so we do not only focus on the parent directories, but the child directories as well we need to focus. That is why I tried to remove the permissions from the temp and test directory. Then once again I try to create a file. Let us say I create one more file here.
Sir, only root user can apply special permission.
No, all the users can apply for their files. Okay, once again see the stuff, guys. This directory also has a special permission applied. So if I go inside this directory and I try to create some new files, this will be applied here. What is this? -R, it means recursive mode. All the subdirectories should also start unfollowing this particular permission set.
So question here is like if we just remove that special permission from the temp, so even we creating a new file in the directory file, so that will have the special permission until unless we haven't.
Yes,
Recursively.
until unless you have removed, if you
Recursive.
applied permission in recursive mode, like all the child directories should also follow the same pattern as the parent is following, then you need to apply the particular permission set in this particular recursive way. So if you have applied a permission set in recursive way, you need to remove as well in the same manner. For example, now if I create a directory, let me go inside dir5. See, we are back to normal behavior. Like whenever any file is created, so user and group remains same, not the HR1. Are we clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, one final thing. Beyond the file permissions, there are a couple of things which are known as file attributes. File attributes. Usually, when we want to understand the knowledge of an individual, we usually ask these questions. Whenever someone says that I have very good understanding of Linux operating system, so I usually ask this question during interview. Let us say there is a file known as test file. I am logged in with root user. Let me do one thing. Okay, right now we are on the same system. All the files are there. I am trying to set permission on this particular file. I am working as root user. Why this error is coming? Yes, guys. What is happening here?
Sticky bit is not applicable for the root. So
Sticky bit obviously not applicable for the
it's
root.
not applicable for the
Teja, anything?
Sir, no permission to these users.
Root user is super user, bro.
Yes, but we applied special permissions, sir.
Okay, how to apply special permission? How to remove those permissions, let us say. Right now, you guys are all aware of file permissions, special permissions. Are you or not? Aditi, what do you think?
The directory already have the 777 permission. Okay.
This does not have.
Sir, first we can remove special permissions, sir,
How to remove? Let me know.
by command.
Go ahead. What command do I need to execute? Rakesh ji,
Just minus, sir.
what minus?
Like permission.
Tell me the exact command because right now you know it. Rakesh,
sorry, no idea.
Aditi, what command do I need to execute on this operating system in order to make it work?
For sticky bit, we can apply S minus and file name, sir.
Operation not permitted. Now what?
No idea, sir.
What is the temp permission?
These are temp permission as usual, as these were before. But the thing here is, I'm not able to perform anything on these two files. But let us say chmod, not a problem with that. So do you guys find anything special with these two files, like test and test file? Yes, we have.
David has a group for HR. Right.
There are some special file attributes which are not visible to us with ls command only. There is a command known as lsattr, list attribute of the file. This file has become immutable. You cannot delete it, you cannot rename it, you cannot do anything with this file. You can consider this is going to be the last file. If entire system will wash away, there will be nothing remaining in this operating system. Till then, this file is going to remain in the operating system. This is known as file attributes. The command here is chattr, chatter, change attribute. We run this plus I, then the file name. If you remember that I stopped sharing my screen, nothing will be visible here for you, but with the help of lsattr command, you can see that. For example, if I do this thing like change attribute minus I, like I'm going to remove the permission. Once again, if you want to see, this will come like this. Nil, nothing. There are multiple attributes. For example, you want that a particular user, whoever has access to file, should not be able to delete anything from the file. But if a user wants, can append anything in the bottom of the file. Did you get the situation?
Bottom of the file means like.
Okay. I want that if any other user is going to come, so that user should not be able to remove this particular data from the file. This is a test file. User should come rather than doing this. Right now the data of that file has gone away. This data is gone. Right now what is the content in this file? Hi. So what do I want here is, I want such a situation that user should not be able to overwrite the file, but the user can append the data into the file. A. What do you see here?
Not much.
But operation says a user can append the data.
Yes.
Once again, will I be able to modify this?
No.
But yes, whenever I want, I can append the data of this particular file.
Yeah. Practical uses like whatever data I maintain, that not supposed to be kept.
Let us say there are some log files
Okay.
which are very critical. For example, there are users history file. A user should only be allowed to append the history, but should not be able to clear the history file.
Yes.
These are the practical use cases of this command. So what we have seen here, we have seen SUID, not SUID. We have seen SGID, sticky bit, and attributes of the file, along with regular permissions. One more thing I want to tell you. This is a particular file, etc shadow. What do we have in this particular file?
We have user password information.
Okay, very good,
Yes, ma'am.
very true, understand. I switched as user David, right? Now,
Yes, sir.
I want to run this command, passwd. Oh. User David is able to update the password for himself, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, where are the passwords stored?
Yes, sir. It is a shadow file.
Good. When user David does not have any permission onto this particular file, then how user David is able to update its password? Rakesh, the question is for you.
the password.
Does this user have any kind of permission onto this file?
No, not yet. No chatter access.
Then how this user is able to update the password? There is an RPM known as setup, right? If we list all the particular files which are made available by this particular command is, we can easily see that these are the files.
Yes.
etc shadow and others. Okay. So when we talk about, there is a particular file like there is a one particular command known as it is like bin. What is the permission defined here?
For user have a special permission.
The owner has set a special permission onto this particular file. What does that mean? Whenever anyone is going to execute this command on the operating system, so till the time user is going to execute that particular command, user will get access as an equal to root, because root is the owner of this particular command or this file, you can say. This is known as,
This one. Can come again.
pardon?
Root will can come again this one.
Sure. So, okay, as and when any user is going to execute this command pass wd, because this permission is applied on this particular file. So when any user is going to execute the command, user will have privilege as an equal to root. Since other users do not have write permission onto this particular file, even the group does not have write permission onto this particular file, but everyone has this particular permission known as special permissions. Because of this particular thing only, a user will be able to update the password. Okay. chmod u-s, right?
It will remove that permission.
Nothing will happen because I'm logged in as David.
Okay.
Only root user can do that. This color is also gone.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Stuck. Nothing will happen. Authentication token multi manipulation error. Reason behind is, earlier pass wd command was having SUID permission, but right now the permission has been removed. This error is coming, authentication token manipulation error. It means the operating system does not allow you to update your password information into etc shadow file.
Just due to we remove that special permission right now. The
Yes, because we have removed the special permission from this particular file. Earlier, a special permission for users was available, like SUID was set, but right now we have removed that with the help of this particular command. Once again, if I log in as user root and I try to update this permission, user David or maybe whosoever is available on the system will be able to update their password. So this is the practical use case of SUID. Like when you do not want to grant the permission by default, but you want to utilize a special permission. For example, you want to ensure that no user should be able to update their password themselves. They should be coming to admin. You can remove this special permission from here.
So in that case, only the root user or the admin can update the password.
Only root user can take these decisions.
Okay.
Token updated successfully.
Yeah.
So are we clear with that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, guys, one question. Now, do we understand what is SUID?
Yes, sir.
Aditi,
Yes.
any doubt on this?
No.
What is SGID and what is the practical use case of it?
For any group, we have to put any special permission. So
Yeah, very true. What is sticky bit? Teja?
for any direct.
Teja, any question?
Special permission, sir.
Okay. And now we know about the attributes as well.
Yes, sir.
Two commands, lsattr and
Charter.
so in order to go in more details, you need to read the main page of these two commands.
Okay, sir.
Like what other attributes are there? There are so many attributes. Are we clear with this?
Yes.
Okay. So as usual, before ending up the session, any feedback for this particular session, guys?
Previously, I watched a video for the special permission as well in the YouTube. This was like more deep inside. We did a deep dive into this particular channel.
Okay. Any other one would like to share the feedback?
Sir, it was fabulous.
Are the things clear to you guys now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All things are clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So well, thank you everyone for joining in. I'll update the particular video to YouTube maybe by end of the day today.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Did we have any class?
Pardon?
Yesterday, did we have any class?
No, yesterday I did not start the class because I and only Ayush joined there and no other one was available, so I did not start the session. And guys, please make sure if you're going to join, please join before 8:35. After that, no entry.
Okay, sir.
Sure.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Sorry, sir. My teachers don't access.